It all begins with an impossible omen, a winged creature seen by dozens of witnesses just before a real-world tragedy. And what follows is even more disturbing. Lighthouse keepers who vanish without a trace, a massive object hidden beneath the sea, and a body found in the Himalayas that defies science itself. This is episode 3 of the series. Subscribe and stay until the end. The last story might change everything you thought was possible. Number 5. The Mothman, the shadow before the tragedy. At the end of 1966, the quiet town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, began receiving reports of a creature that left everyone unsettled. The first encounter happened when two couples were driving at night through the abandoned TNT area. From the darkness emerged a figure over 2 meters tall, with folded wings and 2 glowing red eyes that looked like burning embers. The driver sped up, but the being rose into the air and began following the car without flapping its wings, maintaining flight as if defying the laws of physics. That sighting was only the beginning. Other residents claimed to see it perched on rooftops, gliding over the highway, or watching from a distance, always in complete silence. Soon, a pattern emerged. After each appearance, the town experienced strange accidents, blackouts, and electrical failures. The testimonies multiplied, and fear spread, fueled by the growing belief that the creature was not showing up by coincidence. On December 15, 1967, the Silver Bridge, the town's main connection point, collapsed suddenly, causing 46 deaths. Minutes before the disaster, several witnesses reported seeing a large shadow over the structure. Others said that after the collapse, the figure flew over the river and never returned. To this day, no one knows what the Mothman truly was: a warning, an unknown creature, or an omen that appears only before catastrophe. Number 4. The Eilean Mor lighthouse. In December of 1900, the ship Hesperus arrived at the Flannan Isles to resupply the 3 lighthouse keepers who lived on the remote Eilean Mor. From a distance, something immediately stood out. The lighthouse light was off, and no one came out to greet them, something that had never happened before. Once inside, the scene looked frozen in time. The table was set, the coats hung in their usual place, and a fallen chair hinted at a sudden movement. There were no signs of a struggle. It was as if the men had stepped out for a moment and never returned. The logbook added even more questions. The final entries spoke of massive winds and dangerous tides, written in a tone that didn't match seasoned lighthouse keepers. But the official weather records showed that there was no storm on that date. Outside, they found damaged railings and tightened ropes, as if something had violently struck the area. The theory of a rogue wave emerged quickly, though it fails to explain why 2 of the keepers left their waterproof coats inside, or why the door had been locked from the inside. For weeks, the island was searched without finding a single trace. 3 men vanished without a clue, leaving behind a mystery that more than a century later remains unanswered. What really happened on Eilean Mor when the sea, according to the records, was perfectly calm? To this day, researchers and historians revisit the case, hoping for a clue that might finally illuminate the impossible. Before we continue, if you enjoy real mysteries like these, make sure to subscribe. New episodes are on the way, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 3. The Baltic Sea object. In 2011, the Swedish team Ocean X was conducting a routine exploration when their sonar detected something that didn't match any known natural formation. A circular structure nearly 60 meters wide, perfectly symmetrical, resting on the floor of the Baltic Sea. Intrigued by its size, they descended with cameras to observe it up close. The surface showed smooth curves and linear patterns reminiscent of a massive disk covered by centuries of sediment. Around it were long drag marks, as if the structure had impacted the seafloor or moved before coming to a stop. The most unsettling moment came when the divers approached. The electrical equipment failed instantly. Cameras shut off, the sonar lost signal, and the devices only recovered once they moved several meters away. No known rock formation causes that kind of interference. Geologists ruled out volcanic remnants, glacial deposits, and shipwrecks. One side of the object even featured a kind of ramp with steps, far too regular to be accidental, as if they were part of a constructed design. Some experts suggest an unusual mineral formation. Others believe it could be the remains of an ancient structure now submerged, but no theory explains its symmetry, its size, or the electromagnetic anomalies. The Baltic Sea object remains there, wrapped in silence and darkness, as if guarding a secret we are not yet prepared to uncover. And every new expedition only deepens the mystery, revealing details that raise even more questions. Number 2. The Woman of the Himalayas. In a cave located more than 4,000 meters above sea level, a group of monks found the body of a woman seated in a meditation posture, as if she had simply fallen asleep there. The astonishing part came later. Tests indicated that she was several centuries old, yet her skin remained firm, her features intact, and the muscles preserved their original shape. There were no signs of artificial mummification, no wrappings, no resins, no funerary technique of any kind. The extreme environment of the Himalayas can preserve a body, but not like this. The cold should have hardened the skin and fractured the tissues. Instead, the body appeared frozen in time, untouched by natural decay. Local legends mention that she could have been a Mahasiddha, a spiritual master who reached a meditative state so profound that her body did not deteriorate. The monks say that when they enter the cave, the air changes, as if it still holds an energy that has never fully faded. Modern analyses revealed an even more puzzling detail. The temperature of the body was slightly higher than the surrounding environment, something incompatible with a corpse that old. Some researchers openly admit that they have no explanation. To this day, no one knows who this woman was or how she managed to remain preserved in such a state. A silent body that continues to defy the laws of biology. And every new examination only deepens the enigma, hinting at a process we still cannot understand. Number 1. The Voices of Taos. On the outskirts of the town of Taos in New Mexico, several residents began hearing something strange, sounds that resembled human conversations with no visible source. It wasn't a hum or a typical noise. Many described distant dialogues, as if someone were speaking beneath the ground or within the still desert air. In response to the reports, acoustic engineers and geologists installed microphones and vibration sensors. They detected patterns that resembled voices, but with no identifiable origin. The sound did not come from the ground, the wind, or any specific direction. It was as if it existed everywhere at the same time. Researchers ruled out radio transmissions, pipelines, and natural echoes. Nothing matched. The phenomenon appeared and vanished without warning, almost always at dawn, when the area was in complete silence and any noise should have been easy to locate. Some residents claimed they could distinguish emotions, soft laughter, tense murmurs, or brief, unintelligible phrases. No recording ever captured them clearly, as if the sound hid itself whenever someone tried to document it. Eventually, the case was classified as unidentified anomalous acoustics. The voices exist, but they have no source. An invisible dialogue that appears in the desert and fades before anyone can follow it. To this day, locals say the silence of Taos never feels entirely empty, as if something still whispers just beyond perception. The world is full of events that challenge everything we think we understand. Creatures that appear before tragedies, guardians who vanish, objects hidden beneath the sea, and voices with no origin. Each mystery is a missing piece of a story that is still being written. If you want to keep exploring the unknown, subscribe. What's coming next might change the way you see the world.